So that was Madly in Life. Now we're going to speak to the filmmakers Raphael Balboni and Ann Sirot, writers and directors of the film. How are you guys doing today?
We're good.
So the thing that stands out to me about that film is how you take a difficult kind of emotional experience and you find all types of emotions in there. You find the positive and the negative. What was it initially that drew you to this story? Was it a lived experience, or was it something else?
Yeah, it comes from a lived experience, which we worked around a lot to make it like a fiction story out of it. But I guess when we went through this, we were really like touched by the intensity of the experience. We said it's not only sad, it's also very funny at times, and it sometimes brings you to very intense moments in terms of, you know, what you're experiencing with the person. And we just thought we should maybe make a movie to give an idea of what it's a rock and roll experience more than a intensely sad experience. It's like a mix of intense feelings of all nature.
Rock and roll, I really like that. You have to roll with the punches. You have to take everything for what it is, and you could take it in a negative way, but you could take it in a positive way at the same time. That's very interesting. And at what point did you decide that this is something worth converting into a story? What was there a moment where you realized this is something that's so prominent or so lived in my life that I can't not use it?
I think what maybe started to trigger it was when we were talking to our friends about it. And of course, you know, our friends were concerned and saying, well, this is what you're going through is like really tough. And how's it going? And we'd like say, oh, of course, yeah, that was really hard. That was really tough. But then we'd also like tell them what happened when, you know, she robbed the car because she absolutely wanted a car back. And like the whole table was like rolling with laughter. And we said, you know, after a moment, you know, we said, geez, there's something that's kind of interesting in that experience of telling a very sad story and starting from people's concern and then ending up just having the whole table laughing because what the person did is so impressive somehow. Like it was such an impressive move, like to steal someone's car and to paint it in red just to have a car back. So, and it also on the artistic level, like we felt after a while that what she was doing as a sick person was kind of like performance. You know, you put someone like that in a supermarket and the person is going to grab the fruit and bite in each one of them and put them back, and it's going to create a kind of mini chaos scene in the supermarket. And, you know, sometimes we were reflecting on it and saying, geez, you know, some performers could have proposed that. Like it really makes you reflect on, you know, what we tolerate, what we know, the way we control ourselves to function as a group. But she kind of forgets about that and shows you, oh yeah, well, there's so many possibilities outside what we allow ourselves to do.
It's kind of funny to hear you say that. So you almost recognize the person in your life as being it felt more like performance art nearly, just to have that level of freedom in themselves to express themselves. And obviously as an artist or a creative, you can recognize this person is completely free to express themselves.
And we feel when you are with the people like that, you feel that you are really you have lots of rules in your life, and she has no rules. She can do what she wants, and you think about your life and what all the rules we have all the time.
And there's something, yeah, it's like, of course you don't always feel that way because I mean you're maneuvering a lot, and you know you have to take care of that situation a lot, but they're glimpses when you think, wow, this is just wonderful, you know, like what I'm experiencing, you know, like sometimes you're there. I have the gift of that experience of going to the supermarket and living this extreme, punk scene of a lady eating all the fruit she can see, and and it's just kind of amazing. And if you put yourself in her shoes for 2 seconds, you're there for her. It's like a Roman banquet, or something. It's not a supermarket. It's a place where there's food available. And it's when you see the relationship we have to food and those supermarkets where you can see all this food, but you have to pay for everything. And, I guess what she's doing is what most hungry people would do if it was war, or if there was a big, like if we had a crisis and people were hungry, and they would just do what she's doing. So it kind of makes you reflect on all kinds of things, on all kinds of oppressions, because she doesn't care, if we have to pay for the food in the supermarket. So.
And what was it like then trying to get that performance, to get someone to inhabit this huge space, this thing that inspired you? I imagine that was a big task with this project.
Well, we really wanted to find the right person, and we asked Jo Desheures, who works on stage. She's a theater performer, and we tried out a few scenes with her, and she kind of, it worked out pretty well, pretty quickly. And then we have a very long process with the actors. We start working with them a year and a half before the shooting. Not all the time, but we have like regular moments of rehearsal, and it helps us to build that little by little,
because the script is not completely finished when we start the rehearsal. So we have at the beginning we had 5 page of synopsis text, and we work with the actors. We put them in a situation. We are filming the rehearsal. We are editing the rehearsals, and we are rewriting the script with this editing. So step by step, we are working with the actors, and the characters, they are really, we are writing the characters with the actors.
And and I think after a while, like we kind of meet in the middle, like we give a lot of material, and she works a lot with who she is, and we kind of talk a lot and try things and try again if it doesn't work, and kind of meet in the middle where, we have an idea of the character, and she arrives with her own natural material of who she is and what her ideas are about the character, and we meet in middle ground, I think. Yeah.
I thought she was incredible. I really enjoyed watching her in all her different states. It is kind of the punk rock kind of vibe that she can bring. It was like stealing car and stuff like that. I thought was hilarious. But then obviously there's an undercurrent of sadness to it all that I think not everyone can pull off. How did you end up co-directing? I was doing a bit of research, and I've seen this isn't your first project together. What's that experience like?
We did 8 short films before, so we worked together from 10 years. 10 years.
And it took us time to get to direct a feature. We really needed to spend some time to find the way we wanted to tell stories and the way we wanted to work with our crew and with our cast. And it's something that, kind of arrives step by step from short film to short film, until we had, we felt like this was a good story we needed more time to tell this story. So it kind of arrived progressively, I think. And we co-direct for a long time. We started, I was more in stage before, and Raphael had done film school, and we met on a text I had written for stage, and that we decided to change into a script for the screen, and that's kind of what started it.
It's an interesting approach to have a bit of stage and a bit of screen, because there's obviously a lot of skills with screen that aren't on stage, and vice versa in terms of how you cooperate. and you both grew the project as writers together as well. So
Yeah.
what was that process like?
Well,
we're working like on
layers.
Layers. So Anne is writing a first draft, and I read it. We are talking about it, and then I wrote another layer, and we are working like that. And we have the rehearsal and the editing of the rehearsal. So it's like
yeah, it's since we have rehearsals in the middle, and then we're going to decide, oh, this interesting thing happened, maybe we should try to write a scene, you know, coming from that special thing that we noticed at the rehearsal. So we try to let ourselves be influenced by what happens naturally between the actors, because it's interesting to see that, for example, Jean Lepelletier, who plays Alex, it's our third film with him, and we've always put him in different relationships. And he's not quite the same actor with a different partner. It's like not the same thing naturally comes out of the way people interact, and the way, you know, are they going to joke around, or are they going to kind of always, you know, like kind of tease each other, or we try to see what happens naturally between the actors when they improvise, or when we ask them to, you know, like to have an argument about something, and we kind of try to pick up what naturally happens and use it sometimes in future scenes, or create scenes for them, you know, based on what we've witnessed. And then so it goes from being with the actors to editing the material that we film, because we film our rehearsals, going back to the actual script. Then, and we never do that together. Like I'll spend like a week on the script, and then Raphael will read it. We discuss, you know, how he felt about it. We make decisions, and then he takes over. So, and
we have lots of reader or script doctor who are reading the script, and we are really writing also in doing the editing. With the editing, I did the editing with Sophie Verkreuz. We have both two editors, but we need a lot of time during the editing together to rewrite the story, because we are doing really long take with no it's one take, plan séquence. I don't know in English.
You know,
you do one shot for each scene, and so the shots are really long. So we have lots of material, so we need lots of time because we have lots of possibilities. And during the editing, we are doing lots of screening test vision with people. So we really need to check all the time during the writing and the editing how the movie, how it's
moving, how it's received. Because of course, you know, like when you're the writer directors of the film, you have so much information. You have so much information from the background, from all the different drafts that you wrote, from all the different, you know, all the material that you shot. But you know, like you are over informed about your story. So we really need to like show it to a trial audience who is going to inform us of what is maybe very obvious for us, but absolutely not for them, or very unclear, or too fast or too slow. So we really need to trial. We have trial audiences every week during our editing. So we also we often go back and forth between working, you know, like in privacy and then showing it to others. And
one sequence that, just on the note of the editing, one sequence that stood out to me is, I think it's the first montage that starts with Alex pumping up the blow-up bed. Do you know that one? He's inflating the bed, or someone's inflating a bed. Then it's a silhouette. You can't see. I just love that sequence so much. It ends in the boat on the river.
Yeah.
I thought that was an incredible sequence.
Oh yeah, it's when she's pumping the. That's her. She's pumping the tire because, you know, in her exhibit, like the artist was supposed to do a performance for the opening of the exhibit, and she didn't get like the fire, like she didn't get the security. The security people, you know, did not give her permission to do it. But now she's doing it anyway. So yeah, she's pumping up this this big inner tube, and she's doing the performance herself. Yeah.
And all this sequence, on all this sequence, you have the music of Nils Fram. It's a quite famous musician, German musician, I think, but it's really famous in Europe. And we had the authorization to put this music in our movies, and it's really a really nice music on this sequence.
And another technical question, there's the interview shot, there's a recurring kind of motif where it's the 2 shot, sometimes the 3 shot of Alex and Naomi, and sometimes the mother character as well. And I just wanted to ask, was there any particular motivation behind that to not show? For me, it felt like you were framing the couple versus the world, since it is about their journey and how to navigate the situation partially. So yeah, I was wondering, was there any motivation behind that?
Well, what happened is, like, we like our film to be natural when it comes to the actors talking to each other, the situations, the conversations. But when it comes to going to the doctor or to the bank, we feel like in fiction films, it's always coded. I mean, we always know that the banker is an actor with a tie and a little and you know, like glasses, or that the doctor is just an actor with a white blouse, and you know, like it's code. It's like it's a game of the spectator, like the audience, you know, like we know that. So we said we just can say, you know, it's just a code. So we're at the doctor, and when we're and every time we're going to be facing someone like that who's representing society, we're going to use a code, but it's going to be our own. And the way we feel about that too now is that it also helps to draw the audience's attention on the conversation itself and on the character's emotions, because it's so like there's just like this blank color and nothing else to watch. And so it really focuses the attention on what is said and how the characters react to what is happening.
That's a very good answer. So just less is more, basically.
Well, we don't use, if it's not useful, we're not going to spend too much energy on it. And also we wanted to have fun with the audience. And it's also a way to, you're connected to the audience because we're playing with the audience and saying, okay, we're making a film, aren't we? Okay. And so this is a story. So if we're if we have to inform you that we're at the doctor's, we're going to just do it another way that you can easily relate to, but which is not what is usually done.
I just, the poster behind you is lovely. Is there any hope for Alex and Naomi, do you think, in their relationship? What's their future post this film?
Oh, sorry, what did you say?
The 2 main characters, Alex and Naomi, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it.
Okay, yeah.
Naomi, is there any hope for them, do you think? What's their future after the film?
I think to find the balance, to live with this situation and to have to live normally with the couple. So
yeah, I think for us, the ending is pretty optimistic, because I mean, it's been a real hassle to accept that, you know, huge thing in their lives, but they've finally maneuvered to find the way to embrace everything and to kind of like take everything together and move on. You know?
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have now, but hopefully maybe next year you can submit a film and we'll be able to do it all in person.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you for showing the film and for, you know, connecting us to the audience of the film in Ireland.
Yeah.